No one writes love poems anymore. No one says, like stiletto heels in the soil, I sink into you. Or, if I could rewrite the octave of our love, your soul and me wouldn't be so fa. Or, if you were a melody encircling a verse, I would be a whirling dervish. No one honors the bended knee anymore. No one says, every time you blink, 1,000 suns commit suicide thinking the apocalypse has come. Or, I would erect mirrors in every corner of my heart so your reflection could become the many-armed goddess of my prayers. Or, my certainty is like certainty. It is not like uncertainty veiled in certainty. It's not like breath in a winter morning. It's not like pollen in a summer day. I want to write a love letter. I want to say, oh, keeper of my memories, what if I said stay? Would you miss the last flight of the birds to drape yourself in night with me? Mon amour, my heart is a sannyasini throwing petals on freshwater pearls. Like salmon swimming upstream for possibility, I would fight every current for you. You are the smoke of the Vedas, the Quran, and the Bible burning together in my heart, filling my lungs with haiku. I want to be the Freudian slip in your speech. I want to learn Morse code so I can converse with your goosebumps. I want to love you like 14 loves 13. And even when the world begrudges you, I will spend eternity sleeping next to your curves. I don't want a fairy tale ending. I want a fairy tale continuing. So expose me like a photograph. With the salt in your tears, set free the color in me. Love me like wildfire. Love me like witchcraft. Love me like quicksand. Love me like tabula rasa. Love me like love is a conspiracy. Love me poco a poco, leggero, tranquilamente, cantabil. Or just love me. Because every time you leave, I am like a town without its people. Every time you leave, it is like the migration of the birds, and I feel like winter without song. Every time you leave, I think this may be the last time yellow laughs. Because you are the whispered prayer of cherry blossom petals while blades of grass supplicate at my toes. And when they ask me where all the love went, I'll say it's in the love letters we never sent. Because you are like rosary beads to fingertips, and this may be the last love poem ever writ. Thank you. I want to say thank you for having me here, and I get really awkward in the moments between poems, so I'm just gonna pretend that there's no moments between poems and go straight to the next poem so I don't feel so awkward. That doesn't make me less awkward. Awkward. Okay, I'll just move on now. We met along the edges of a journey. You were a short-haired girl with fire atop her head who spilled blood into the stone heart and laughed. I was a nomad searching the seasons for your name. My heart never made it past a sin-like stretch of skin on your back, the poetry of Saraswati etched in the curves of your spine. I wanted to learn Braille on the staccato of your vertebrae so we could speak in a language no one else could understand. The first time I heard you laugh, I realized I had been in solitary confinement my whole life. And when you let me in, I knew your laughter would fit perfectly in the space between my heartbeats. You were like a freshwater spring unfurling from an origin it would take scientists ages to unveil. But you can't anchor to water. Venice is sinking, you would say to me. We are all drowning a little, so we should move closer to the center. I remember the day you woke up and stopped crying, and when I asked how you let the grief go, you said I didn't. It let go of me. You see, grief is a weed that sets roots into your chest and grows strong with the salt of your tears, but laughter? Laughter is a field of dandelions pollinated by the reach of your breath. So you exhaled. And 1,000 birds took flight in my chest. Life is only a fight if you get dressed for battle, you told me. And then you laughed. Oh, but in your laughter there was a way to end a war. I don't know when it crept up on me, sprouting at the edges of my being, laying roots in the shadows of my silence, this grief larger than me. But it seeped into me, set ablaze your dandelion field, turned my happiness into a burning pyre. You asked me to stay, wanted to sit in the throat of my pain. You would have drowned in the monsoon of my eyes, but the water was rising, and the weightlessness of your laughter was drawing my heart in like the pull of gravity, and I could not take you down with me. We float together, but drown alone, I told you, as I released your hand from mine. How do you walk away from love? You asked. You don't, I said. You watch it walk away from you. And then you turned away. And in the language of searching, I could no longer find the words to describe the allegro of your laugh, so silence took me prisoner. I became Vesuvius, a dormant volcano with the echo of your laughter erupting in my memory, turning me to ash. I have been counting the seconds since your departure, and the chasm between my heartbeats is a silence too loud for me to bear. With each rosary bead, I try to forget your name, but somewhere in this debris is your smile. Death is not all silence and tears. It has been the angle of your lips against my ribcage, the geography of your skin along my fingertips. Sometimes it is the memory of you calling my name, and my body becomes a place of weeping, a temple in ruins, scattered with the remains of your laughter. It is the memory of you that tortures me, a synapse scarred by the brutality of your absence. And when somewhere you laugh, I will remember that Venice is sinking, and we are all drowning a little, and I will move closer to my center. Awkward moment. Next poem. I never saw a child more beautiful than the one standing in the dirt on the corner of the street. Her blackened skin, the heat, the rocks under her bare feet, her seams ripped apart, exposing shoulder, kneecap, heart, and she is all of 3. Akka! Hi, Akka! She waves at me. Chocolate? No. Rupee? She tries, with a smirk in the white of her eyes, her soul hovering above the love line in her hands. I learn why Muslims pray to air in cupped palms. That is where hope lives. She smiles and puts her hope in mine. She reminds me of a sign in a Goan bar: no shirt, no shoes, no problems. Because she knows a life with no shoes is better than a life with no feet. Akka, come see my home! 9 bricks, 2 garbage bags, a tire, a bottle cap, a stone. She gives me faith, because with all our education, we have forgotten that life can still be great, and that gratitude is free, and so is the way she looks at me, though sometimes it costs me a rupee. She speaks to me in Kannada, but I understand her through the energy from her palms. They radiate happiness, wisdom, calm, each torn seam in her shirt representing the slipping of some skin. Like every day she regenerates her joy. And as I swing her around, she shows me how to hold on and let go all at once. She is goddess, she is monk. The way sand can grind rock to sand, so she shows me the meek can change the world. The weak are not all poor. Strong are those who can be carried away with wind and still know where they belong. Like nomads shifting seasons, she is prophet, she is song. Akka! She runs across the street, checks my pockets for chocolates, and by chance a lost rupee. She plays run and hit the deflated tire with a stick and watch it roll, and finds a joy I never knew with Barbie dolls. She doesn't know about the monsters under her bed. Her bed has no under. She crosses her heart and hopes to live. Akka! She calls out the day I leave, unzips my bags and searches for goodbye chocolate, farewell rupee, and when I hand her both, she says, Akka, keep them. You need them more than me. I look at her naked soles and I offer her my shoes, but she prefers to feel the world under her bare feet. So I remove my own and feel the wisdom of the street. Akka, the wind murmurs in my ear. Everyone has a secret. Hers is that you can buy happiness if you can spare some change. Mine is that a sage can be found on a street corner in a ripped-seam little girl who calls a stranger Akka, sister. Thank you. I have slept beneath his fingernails, crept into his cleft, been the eyelash on his third eye and protested death. I have dangled from her uncertainty, been ninth incarnation of her strength, bathed in fire in her womb, been vibration on her tongue. I have been the era within their silence, the boiling acid in his anger, the waning moon in her sorrow, have touched winter's seed in their laughter. I have breathed at Benares, been fourth tributary to Ganga, Jamuna, and Saraswati, bowed down to broken uterus, flowed from elation to riverbed. I have been blind and deaf at his feet, swallowed monsoon from her fingertips, caressed death's secret at his lips, been entangled in the witchcraft of her hair. I have made love through Kali Yuga, reached nirvana and returned to be the melody in the string of a veena, to be the last word read from the Veda. Thank you. Thank you for having me.